Like and subscribe right now, or you're gonna have terrible luck for the next week. Beaches are some of the most favorite hangout spots if you're looking to have a good time. For most people, that's all they need. But some beaches offer a little more than spectacular views. They're slightly different from the usual white sands and azure waters. Let's check them out. Number 10. Vaadhoo Island Beach, Maldives. As an island, the Maldives ranks high among travelers, a fact that has boosted the country's tourism prospects in recent years. Much of this is thanks to numerous beaches on the island, but one of them stands out, the Vaadhoo Island Beach. Vaadhoo itself is a tiny island with just about 1,000 or so people, but the waters around it have made it one of the most sought-after tourist spots. Travelers come here to see the glowing water that's, of course, more visible during the night. Contained in the water are phytoplankton, tiny microorganisms that exhibit bioluminescence, the ability of an organism to naturally produce light. When the water of Vaadhoo Island is disturbed, the phytoplankton glow, making the sea look like a reflection of the starry night above. But this effect is not always assured, at least not for the whole year. Usually, the summer months are the best since the phytoplankton are more concentrated during this time. Number 9. Shell Beach, Australia. Instead of sand like other beaches, Shell Beach in Australia is made up of, well, shells. The beach itself is part of a very unique ecosystem along the Australian coast known as Shark Bay. The bay is inhabited by interesting animal and plant species, including seagrass, bottlenose dolphins that protect their noses using a sponge, and, most importantly, a mollusk called cockle. It's these cockles that are responsible for the shells abundant on Shell Beach. Owing to the higher rate of evaporation compared to precipitation in the area, the seawaters near the beach have salinity twice that of the rest of the ocean. While this is too much of an imbalance for a lot of marine animals, the cockles seem to have no problem with it. That has allowed them to thrive without any natural predators around, which means their population is always through the roof. So when they die, they leave behind hordes of shells that are washed up to form the famous Shell Beach. So numerous are the shells that, with time, they're compressed to form special limestone that was once mined for use in the building and construction industry around the area. But that stopped back in 1991 when Shark Bay became a World Heritage Site. Number 8. Koakohe Beach, New Zealand. Koakohe Beach off the Otago coast in New Zealand is stuff of fantasy. Dotted on the shoreline are unique spherical boulders resembling mythical dragon eggs. For that, the beach is also referred to as the Dragon Egg Beach. The Moeraki boulders, as they're locally known, have been sitting along the coast for the past 60 million years, but they weren't always on the beach. According to scientists, the giant egg-like structures were formed underground in an area that was slightly above the sea 15 million years ago. As their initial dwelling place endured years of wave onslaught, the boulders were released onto the beach to where they remain to this day. But the Maori have their own explanation of how the boulders came to be. According to a popular legend, the Maori ancestors arrived near the beach in canoes with their belongings, ready to begin a new life. Unfortunately, one of the canoes was seriously wrecked by a storm, and to survive the ordeal, the Maori travelers threw some of their baskets into the water. These later washed ashore at Moeraki, and they have, with time, been compressed into the now famous boulders. Number 7. GENIPABU Beach, Brazil. Found in the major tourist city of Natal, GENIPABU is more than just a beach. In fact, much of its appeal isn't its location off the Atlantic Ocean coast. The beach has a spot on travelers' bucket list because of the presence of lagoons and dunes, features you wouldn't typically get anywhere else other than the desert. And due to the strong winds from the ocean, the dunes are always shifting position, which makes for a unique sight every time you come back. The sand dunes also mean that there's more you can do other than just walking in the sand. Visitors can go buggy riding down the dunes, sandboard, or just casually explore the vast sand structures atop camels. Number 6. Maho Beach, St. Martin. While most beaches draw in visitors as chill spots, Maho Beach in the Caribbean is a bit different. Relaxing on this beach is the last thing you can expect. It's known for being really close to Princess Juliana International Airport, which is particularly attractive to plane spotters. But the closeness between the airport and the beach isn't the actual attraction. Built sometime in 1942 during World War II, the airport wasn't meant for large commercial aircraft. That means the runway isn't as long, so it doesn't allow enough time for the usual landing and takeoff. To address this, pilots have to fly close to the beach, leading to gusts of wind and loud engine noises, much to the enjoyment of onlookers. Of course, there is some risk in this, but the thrill seekers here seem to be quite oblivious to it. The government had to put up an additional fence to try and keep people at a safe distance, but that doesn't completely eliminate the danger. In 2017, a beachgoer succumbed to injuries she suffered from a jet blast. Number 5. Papakolea Beach, Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the most intriguing places, specifically with the ever-present volcanic activity. Most of the island's geological structure has been influenced by outpouring lava and other volcanic material over the years. Papakolea Beach is a direct result of this. Formed over 49,000 years ago, the beach is famed for its green sands, an extremely rare occurrence. In fact, there are only 4 beaches in the world with such sand, Papakolea included. So, what's up with the green sands? Much of it is made up of green olivine crystals, which, as mentioned, come from volcanic material spewed on the island for years. The green in the crystals, on the other hand, is caused by ferrous iron, which, in combination with magnesium, makes up individual crystals. Number 4. Hidden Beach, Mexico. Just as the name suggests, Hidden Beach on Mexico's Marietta Islands is slightly tucked underground in a sort of shallow depression. While breathtaking, the story of how the beach came to be isn't exactly sweet to the ears. For some background, Marietta Islands has always been uninhabited, which makes them ideal for any activities that might be dangerous to people, like bomb testing. So, from the 1900s, there was an extensive military testing program on the islands, which destroyed not just the topography, but also the plant and animal species. Hidden Beach was one of the results of this damage. Thankfully, the weapon testing program was abandoned in the 1960s after concerted protests from the scientific community. Over the years, the calm has allowed the destroyed flora and fauna to bounce back, making the islands, especially the beach, coveted hangout spots for holidaymakers. To access Hidden Beach, visitors must go through a tunnel that connects it to the Pacific Ocean, so they can either swim or kayak to this exclusive beach. Number 3. Glass Beach, California. Glass Beach in Fort Bragg, California was once just a normal sandy beach. That was more than 100 years ago. In 1906, though, the beach was turned into a dump site for all kinds of wastes, including glass, vehicles, cans, and appliances. Basically, there have been several sites across the beach that have served as dumping grounds over the years. The first site filled up in 1943, and a new one was immediately set up. The second dump site lasted just 6 years, up to 1949. The new site that was established after this lasted up until 1967, when it was closed for environmental reasons. Long overdue, but at least they did something, right? Much of the trash scrap metal was cleaned up from the beach, but broken glass remained and the waves took good care of it. Over the years, the pounding waves have turned the glass into smooth shapes that now populate the famous Glass Beach.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in a future video. Number 2. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Our top pick is quite different. While the other beaches are surprising for their unique beauty, the New Smyrna Beach in Florida stands out for being considerably dangerous to thrill seekers. Nicknamed the shark attack capital of the world, the waters here are infested by 3 types of sharks, namely spinner, tiger, and blacktip. These aren't the most aggressive, but again, they're nothing like dolphins that'll readily join a swimmer for a jig. National Geographic estimates that anyone who has swum on the beach has come within 10 feet of a shark. That means that there's always that imminent danger of getting nipped by these marine predators. Despite that, the beach is still popular with tourists who fill it out for the better part of the year. Perhaps that's why the shark attacks are way higher than anywhere in the world.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works.
Number 1. Beach of the Cathedrals, Spain. For the last surprising beach in our video, we take a trip to Spain's coastal province of Lugo. Known in Spanish as Playa das Cathedrals, the beach is held in high regard and has even been declared a national monument for being a rare physical feature. And it is. While most beaches are lined mostly with trees, Beach of the Cathedrals is populated with caves and natural arches that give it the appearance of being one big cathedral. The unique look has garnered this beach lots of popularity among tourists, and close to 5,000 people per day take a stroll among water-eroded arches. And that's only because the authorities have put limitations on the number of people that can be on the beach at any given time. That aside, visitors also have to watch for the tide. During high tide, all the arches are swallowed up by the sea, which means you don't get to enjoy the full beauty of the cathedral look.